In the early morning on Saturday, we found out that the San Francisco 49ers have re signed Kyle Juszczyk to a 2 year, $8 million deal after recently releasing him. But there have been more details to come out about that whole situation. We saw the photos of him at the Pittsburgh Steelers facility. We also learned that Pete Carroll with the Raiders was very interested in signing Kyle Juszczyk as well. But as the reports have come out, according to an NFL insider with ESPN, the Pittsburgh Steelers actually offered more money to Kyle Juszczyk than what he signed with the San Francisco 49ers. And so I think this tells us a couple things, but most importantly, what it tells us is Kyle Juszczyk absolutely wants to retire a San Francisco 49er. He wants to end his career here. As we know, his wife and himself have a home here, and they've lived in the Bay Area since 2017. So you kind of have to think about it from that perspective. Do you want to just uproot everything and go move to a different location? Do you have to go through that whole process of selling your home in the Bay Area? Do you keep that home? Do you rent over here? Do you travel back and forth? How does that all work? And of course, you're going to a new work environment. You're going to an offense. You think of the Pittsburgh Steelers. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure they have a starting quarterback. I believe they signed Mason Rudolph back, but I think they're waiting to see what situation goes down with Aaron Rodgers and where he'll sign, and that's going to trigger something for Russell Wilson. So they don't really have a starting quarterback. Now, they do have a nice young up and coming offensive line. They just traded for DK Metcalf, have Pickens. They have two pretty solid tight ends, Freiermuth and Washington, Jalen Warren at running back. So they have some nice pieces, but honestly, you have to just think about it. It's like we already know Kyle fits here, and this is kind of I think one of the cool developments, at least. I think as we come to understand that it was a slight pay cut in the end. However, it did allow Kyle Juszczyk to get 7 million guaranteed, solidifying that he will be here for the next 2 years and will very likely retire a San Francisco 49er. So it works, I think, for both sides because I think it is a slight pay decrease from what the contract he had before. Even though the 49ers took on some dead cap hit from it, they were able to kind of do some other back end maneuvering by signing him to this deal. So in the end, it actually worked out to be, I believe, a net positive for both sides in regards to Juszczyk getting the guaranteed money and the San Francisco 49ers being able to move some dollars around as well. So it works out in the end. Kyle comes back. 49ers are happy. I know you guys saw George Kittle's post about this. He is actually the one who kind of alerted everyone that Kyle Juszczyk was going to be coming back that night. And it was just I think it's a welcomed addition because, while many did believe that Luke Farrell was somehow going to replace Kyle Juszczyk, even though he had only played 30 fullback snaps in his entire career, I never felt that Luke Farrell was a Kyle Juszczyk replacement. I've always felt that Luke Farrell was a Charlie Warner replacement because, as you guys have know, if you follow this channel, I have had and spoke very highly of Charlie Warner and what he meant to the 49ers offense, and also discussed what they were losing when he went to sign with Atlanta. Now, because he only had 11 receptions over his 4 years with the 49ers, many people didn't believe it would be much of an issue at all to lose Charlie Warner to the 3 year, $12 million contract with the Falcons. But as you guys saw, they had a really hard time replacing Charlie Warner. Eric Saubert didn't do a good enough job. Braden Willis, Cam Latu got released. And, Jake Tonges, who made the initial 53, barely played last year. So they really needed Luke Farrell to come in and fill that role of having a competent blocking tight end too. That's what they accomplished with that signing. And so to me, it was never a Kyle Juszczyk replacement. And as we've come to find out, the door was always open for Kyle Juszczyk to return. There was a deal on the table for him. He was just allowed to go out and see if he could find something better. And it sounds like he did. But after kind of looking at everything and just being like, you know what, we can just come back to the 49ers, retire here, and finish our career as the 49ers. Try to finish what they started back in 2017. So I think it's cool that Juice took a little bit less money to return. The fact that he went and looked around and decided he still wanted to be a Niner, I think is pretty cool, considering that we've seen so many players leave in free agency. It's nice to have one come back. So what do you guys think about this whole situation with Kyle Juszczyk? Are you happy that he's returned? Do you think it was a waste of money? Do you think that money should have went to guys like Jordan Mason? I don't know. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think about this signing in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.